I know they cheated seriously on the biological weapon agreement, but I think they've honored the START treaties, the nuclear weapon, and the treaties that we've had with them, as far as I understand it.
And also, it's interesting to note that the START treaty that Ambassador Burr was talking about in the film expired last month. And the signing that you see in the movie between President Obama and President Medvedev is them working out the next phase of what START was, which apparently they had a phone call yesterday and announced that they're very close to actually hammering out all the details on that, so that could be done soon.
Great. Any others? Any questions? Yes, in the back.
I'm trying to imagine what complete nuclear disarmament would look like. Would that be everyone agreeing to do it simultaneously across the globe? Or would that be leaps of faith by 1, 2 countries here and there gradually eliminating?
Well, I think we tackle it a little bit in the end of the film. I think it's kind of a combination of everything. I think the US and Russia need to lead the way because we have the most weapons at the moment. And then, as we say in the film, once all countries get to low hundreds, then there'll be a step-by-step process. And verification is very important, part of that process, and intrusive verification, as they say. You want to add? No. So, I mean, there really is a...
So the intention is for no leap of faith to be involved. It's working their way down to intrusive verifications, and as it gets lower and lower, that puts more pressure on the countries like Israel, Pakistan, and India, which have very few weapons to disarm as well.
I'm just trying to imagine how you possibly get all these smaller, maybe less stable countries to jump on board that bandwagon.
Well, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. It's diplomacy and working with issues, like is in the film, with countries like North Korea, who got a bomb, and basically because, they can't feed their people, I mean, that's a big part of it. So it's dealing with a lot of issues on a lot of fronts. And then, there are a lot of verification mechanisms that have, we didn't really go into it in detail, but that have been used in the past that work. And I think the experts also agree that there are a lot of things to work out as well, so it's still a work in progress.
Yes, over there.
I'm just wondering what's left to finish in this film. You said you guys aren't quite...
Is that Piper?
It is.
The question is, what's left to finish? Well, Brett doesn't want me to tell. We have a few things that need to kind of be fine-tuned. I'm not supposed to tell. No. There isn't too much. At this point, we're screening from an HD tape, if any of you are familiar with kind of film technology. And we'll create a film print next, and then obviously, hopefully get distribution, and then be more widely seen in other theaters. Yes?
After going through these, no doubt, hundreds or perhaps thousands of hours of data, interviews, and information, what's your personal view on the possibility of this happening in our life?
The question is, what is my personal view after going through this experience? I think it is incredibly important, and I think, as we say in the film, if the probability isn't zero, then, then we're all kind of screwed.
I think more likely than not.
More likely than not?
That's what I think.
More likely than not what?
That we'll have a nuclear explosion, detonation by accident, by miscalculation, by madness in our lifetime.
Well, and I was asking what you thought was that we would reach a total ban or a zero nuclear weapon in our lifetime.
Oh, not about a nuclear explosion, but about a disarmament.
He's the cynic.
The opposite.
Zero weapons.
Well, if we do have an explosion, it'll certainly jumpstart the disarmament. Well, I guess it just depends on people's will.
Right. I I asked what your personal view.
Well, I think it can be done. And it's just, you know, it's a hard task to predict the will of the country and other countries. My personal, I don't know. But I hope it happens.
Yeah, and personally, I have to believe it can happen. You know, I mean, that's why we make these movies, so.
Yes.
The movie was great.
Thank you.
I think that raising public awareness is really important, and
Yeah.
you did it in a way that, you know, it's watchable for the average person just to sit down and watch something, a subject like this. You know, most people don't go, "Oh, you know, I'm going to go learn about it today or think about it," but you did it in a great way. And there was at the end of the movie the text, or, you know, text serial number that you had on the screen, and I don't remember it. And then also tell me how that, you know, is it just that by voicing our public opinion that we don't, you know, we want to see an end to the nuclear arms race or, you know, reduction in arms, that what's the best way to go about doing that?
Right. So basically is the question how to get involved from here. Well, what do you do from here now that you've seen this and you're, you know, have a feeling or reaction to it? Participant is a company that does socially relevant films. So there is a website you can go to. It's called takepart.com/countdown-to-0. And there you can sign up, you can get email blasts, you can sign the petition. Because the film is just in its infancy, then that's still kind of developing, and we're kind of developing action plans, ways of organizing people. But if you wanted to check that out, I can remind you that I have some bracelets left. If you wanted to text, you can text now, and the number is 44144. And to that number you text 0, and then it signs you up for text blasts if you want to get text blasts, or it also gives you the website. Or if you're on Facebook, anybody on Facebook? You can become a fan of Global Zero, which is an organization that we've partnered with. And as the film gets out into the world, then we're hoping to partner with more and more organizations. And, you know, and the point of these films is to make a difference and to reach people, educate, that sort of thing. So thank you. Any others? Yes.
It appears that you were able to get in restricted areas to get a lot of these pictures.
Yes.
And your motivation was to use the movie where I want to destroy the world.
The question is that it seems that we got into some high security places, and what if we had bad intentions? The film crews went through security clearances, and we were closely monitored and followed and accompanied and escorted, that sort of thing. So I think they did a good job. And there were some things that we weren't allowed to film that, you know, that we wished we could have to help tell the story a little bit better, but yes.
I had no prior knowledge of, you know, how to make one of these bombs, and so I can't help but feel a little concerned as I watch this movie and you're talking about terrorists and governments, and, you know, I don't know, was there any concern that you're kind of giving someone a how-to and
Right.
bad intention?
Yeah, it's funny, this question does come up quite a bit. All of the information that we tell you in the film is available by going to www.google.com. So all of this information is out there. It's in books. You know, people who do have the intention of doing that sort of thing. But for the most part, we actually don't tell you how to build a bomb. We basically just show you how easy it is. So the real information that you would need to cause some major damage isn't in the film. So rest assured. Yes?
Are the speakers in the film all those dignitaries and the elders? Are they going to have a chance to see it?
They actually have. Some of them have already seen it on Necker Island about a week ago. And we got some great feedback from them. There's also going to be a conference in Paris on the 2nd where some high-level dignitaries are going to be watching the film, and we're in the process of organizing some major support from the elders to help the rollout of the film. So we're really hoping that that will influence some things. Yes, sir?
To me, one of the most amazing things was how close we had come in some of those incidents with Russia in 1994 with the rockets. And I knew that Dr. Strangelove had to be in there. I wonder if those considered on the beach or